Hadou Program, fight, welcome. Then, to start, we must check our knowledge about fighting, about a fight, about analyzing a fight. So we're going to start and stay in topic with these four notions. The four notions to have in consideration in a fight are distance, footwork, technique, and timing. Distance. Distance is our reach, is our height, our mass space, meaning to actually be aware of how moving a step forward or backwards involves our hip, involves our ribs, involves our shoulders. Where are they moving? How are we moving? Our mass space is just us being aware that if we decide to go to the left, sort of like incline a little bit, or incline to the right, where are my ribs? Where is my body that can be attacked? Where's my shoulder? Where's my head going? Where's my neck going? The mass space. And am I just like myself? I teach myself what is my reach, what is my height, and for the mass space would be, is my opponent able to reach me because my mass space is certain? Let's say I'm thin. Another one could be like middle, or another person could have a bigger frame, if I have a small frame, I'm aware that's my mass space. And then weight, energy. Weight, meaning that knowing your weight is important because you have to distribute your gas tank and start to choose your shot, start to choose your movement, not just be in a default mode or fight in an autopilot thing. Weight here in the distance notion refers to the energy administration of your own body, of your own. And to have in consideration your weight energies, as it must be your weight on point, and you should be able to consider that the distance that you're going to be, or how are you going to be managing, taking in consideration your weight, should tell you if you should push forward, rest a little bit, and or push even more forward if you are able to put your strategy in getting to pick your next moves, where are in attack mode or where they are in defense mode. This is distance. Then we go along with footwork. Footwork is the ability to move forward, to move backwards, move to the sides, and the mission accomplished to be able to do all of this is to change angles. Once we change angles, boom, mission accomplished. Our footwork allows us to get into better angles so we can find holes in our opponent's defense. So when we are changing angles, we're not only moving and getting out of range of our opponent's shots or strikes, we are able to create angles of our own so we can use and start throwing combinations. This footwork notion, like the four of them, have two stages. Stage one is in the attack mode. Okay, so you must work on your footwork. At the same time, you're throwing your techniques, you're attacking. We will see the techniques later. And at the same time, the stage number two is being defensive. In a defense mode, your footwork must be in order to get out of range of your opponent, in order to pick better angles so he doesn't hit you, or you disrupt his attack, you disrupt his range by getting close, and you manage to find an angle to go for his body. So moving along, we go with technique. Technique is the skill, is the variety of technique and skills that you could have in your boxing, in your Muay Thai, in your MMA training. This does not only mean technique for the striking, but since I'm practicing boxing, well, it's redundant whatsoever. If I were doing MMA, you can also count the jiu-jitsu or the submissions attempts, and you can also count the takedowns or the takedowns attempts. This could also work here for technique. So, for your striking and for your blocking, and the head movement and change levels. The notion of technique, let's remember, they have two stages, like any other of the four notions, in an attack mode and in a defense mode. Okay, you can use your striking to be in defensive in a way that the third punch or the last punch you're throwing is to get outside, push a little bit your opponent, get outside of his range if he's in mid range, because you want to push the chest and then like sort of reset back up, throw a straight right at him. You were holding him with your jab, or you were holding him with your second hand, and you just throw a hook and a step forward. But we're talking about here about the technique, the variety of the striking techniques that you could have and you can apply with proper technique, with proper power and technique. Whether you are trying to throw volume with let's say 80-90% of power, or you want to throw bombs with 100% power. So this technique is important because you must be able to manage all types of shots and all types of technique. The more that you have, the better for you. So blocking. At the same time, in the defensive mode, it's important to have technique of blocking. Blocking meaning that you could save, you could protect yourself with your shoulders, with your forearms, with your wrists, or even with the gloves on. Okay, so the important thing about this is just in the defensive mode, and you must be able to master the quick rotation by rotations and elbows and forearms positions. So once you have mastered that, At the same time you're covering your ribs, you must work on the technique in the head movement. Head movement will get you to places if you start to mixing it up. Do not do not get used to do one pattern, two patterns of head movement. You have to always like a reset and do some random head movement patterns so your opponent never catches up or never is never ahead of your head movement. Because if he reads your head movement, he could be a high level striker, and even before you're getting to that place, he already throwing a power shot to that place, or just to intercept you with a combination. And finally, changing levels. Changing levels with a technique means that we should be able to do your proper techniques, your proper either for attack or defense, and also your head movement. You should be able to do it when you are going downstairs for the body shots, or when you're going upstairs for the chin, for the jaw. So you have in consideration that. And finally, we go with timing. Timing means to be on time. Timing. So it's about striking first. It's about being able to counterattack your opponent. And it's about being able to set up combinations. It's about combinations and to be able to set them up. And timing to shut down our opponent. Shut down our opponent, disrupt his combinations, disrupt his rhythm. Shut down our opponent, meaning that we nullify his potential combination starts, nullifying his defense, nullifying his footwork, nullifying his attack strategy. When we refer to strike first, we take in consideration that our last three notions have mastered. Now we could try to read our opponent we could do as many reads as we can and try to strike first. If we see him, he's gonna throw a technique, he's gonna throw a punch at us, you must try. This is a must try thing because it's about timing. If you do this at the same time your opponent, you strike first, means that you are faster and you can counterattack him. If you can counterattack your opponent, it's gonna be an easy way to go for a knockout or to set up a knockout, but mostly focus on just counterattack. The counterattack, but it's a way to allow you to start your combinations or to set up your opponent in a position that you want him to be. That should be next to the corners of the ring, or have him against the ropes. Combinations. Combinations in timing means that we're gonna throw our combinations, whether our 3, 4, 5 punches, we're gonna throw them with right timing, meaning we must be able to try to hit all the time to our opponent that these combinations have to aim to be significant strikes in the fight. And to get to this, or to be on time with our combinations, we're going to make sure of making the reads at our opponent's rhythm, at our opponent's cadence. If he is moving in a pendulum state, when is he going backwards, forward? How we can make sure our combinations hit if he has good head movement. Well, we must always aim for the chest, or not only the head or the body parts, but also the biceps and the shoulders. This is timing. When your opponent moves or he is good at being evasive from your striking, then aim for the shoulders or aim for the biceps, because you're gonna if you punish that area, his hands are gonna drop. His defensive is gonna be hurt, and therefore you could work on that and go for a knockout, because that person is gonna put his hands down and not cover himself at all times. So this was Hadou Program fight, and remember that in a fight there is no neutral, there is no medium point in between attacking and defending. You only have those two stages, and you must attack if you decide to attack, or you must defend yourself and block or be evasive from your opponent's strikings. So never stay put, always keep moving, and it's a fight.